it's a honor to be even considered for this opportunity. And actually now it's starting to sink in a little bit more. And as I get closer to spring training, I'll start probably sinking in more and more, but just honored to be a part of this organization. Obviously it speaks for itself, and, you know, every opportunity to try to win a World Series. And that's always the goal.
All right, Brad, thanks. We can start taking questions now from any interested parties. If you could use the raise hand function, we'll call you out. Start with Brendan Cuddy in his new role at The Athletic. Brendan, go ahead.
Thank you, Jason. Brad, congratulations.
Thank you.
What were you doing? You got it. What was your main thrust in your previous role at Jacksonville? And you know, what is going to be your primary role here? Obviously assistant hitting coach, but what's like narrowly what they want you to do?
Well, I think my role here at Jacksonville University was I was head of recruiting, making sure we get guys on campus that fit this program and fit what Coach Hayes wanted to do here. And I primarily worked with, you know, I got a background of pitching and hitting in college, but I primarily worked with, you know, all the hitters and the offense here at Jacksonville. As my future role with the Yankees, just being there for the hitters, you know, and talking to them about baseball and talking to them about situational hitting and, you know, decisions on when they're going to swing and why they're going to swing, and, you know, just seeing the baseball and getting these guys right, and more so mentally than physically in a lot of, you know, ways, and just making sure their minds are clear and, you know, prepared each and every night to face whoever they're going to face on any given night. You know, that's going to be my role. I'm going to be in the dugout talking to these guys, making sure they're right.
Thank you.
We can take another. Brian Hoke, please unmute, from Yankees.com.
Hey, Brad, congratulations. Just curious, what was the interview process like? When did the Yankees reach out? How did things develop for you?
Well, it was about 10 days ago. I got a call from someone in the organization, and they asked me if I'd be interested in a job. And I said, at this point, you know, the only thing that I would be interested in would be probably a big league position. Just my standing here at Jacksonville and the timing of the whole thing. It kind of came about, escalated pretty fast. Talked to a couple of coaching staff, including Booney and Dylan, you know, hitting guy. We talked for an hour and 45 minutes and got on a Zoom call and went through the interview process, and, you know, it escalated pretty quickly. It was a tough decision for me, obviously, just the timing of the whole thing. But at the end of the day, the opportunity I have in front of me to get back to the big leagues and work with these guys and have, like I said, every resource in the world to try to win is just very intriguing to me. The type of competitor, the type of guy that, and the guys I want to be around, it was a no-brainer for me.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We go next to Greg Joyce with the New York Post.
Hey, Brad, congrats. First off, just wondering, have you ever crossed paths with Aaron, or do you guys have any prior relationship before this?
We played against each other a lot, obviously talking on the field, BPs. I remember a couple of times we were just chatting it up with some guys at mutual friends and stuff like that. His dad was an assistant GM for me in Washington. I think that's what his role was, assistant GM with Jim Bowden. So I knew the dad, obviously playing against each other, and, you know, that's kind of probably some mutual friends in between somewhere.
Gotcha. And then just how valuable is it in your role to have a guy who's kind of been in these players' shoes before, and like you said, kind of talking through it mentally?
Say that one more time, sorry.
Sorry, how important is it for someone in your role to have that experience, that major league experience that these guys are going through, you know, night in, night out?
I think it's huge. I mean, there's so much preparation that goes into it as far as the analytics side and everything we're doing, preparing these hitters on the video and things like that. But to have someone in the dugout that's been there in their shoes and in their situations, just to be situations come up throughout the game. This game is a game of adjustments, a lot of times pitch for pitch, and they're going to be asking questions, and they want someone that they're going to be able to hopefully trust and, build that rapport with. So just allow them to free their mind to be the best version of themselves each and every game.
Thank you.
Go next to Tim Healy with Newsday.
Hi, Brad. I was just catching up on your Jacksonville bio there on their website. I was curious about that first job with the Kings Academy. If when you took that job as the middle school coach, if you aspired to climb the ranks and make it back to the big leagues.
That's an unbelievable question. I love it. No, I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do at that point in time. I was playing a lot of golf, about 4 years out from retirement. And, they asked me, that job opened up, and that's where my kids went to school. So I'm like, heck, I'm not doing anything. Let's try it. So there's no doubt I had a lot of question marks, and this wasn't kind of the end of the rainbow type of situation. But, as I got into it and I started coaching, I did a little travel baseball and did a lot of different things. I helped, scout for an agency and some different things throughout the game. And I really figured out that I really love to be on the field and to help guys and just see them reach their goals. And it's very gratifying to me, and anything I can do to help these guys do the same is, obviously my number one priority and number one goal.
Were your kids on that middle school team when you had them, or the high school team?
No, I didn't have. I have a young boy that's only in 7th grade now. Gosh, when did I take that job? In 14, maybe 13.
Yeah.
So I had a 10-year-old girl and a 8-year-old girl at the time. So I didn't have a kid on the team. I just said, heck, I'll help out. And we ended up winning the championship. It was a fun year, fun experience for me. And, the crazy thing is now about 4 or 5 of those kids are D1 baseball players, 2 of them in the SEC, and they're 6'6" pitchers. And they were about 5'2" when I had them. So it's kind of crazy just how, life turns pretty quick.
What are their names, just out of curiosity?
Chandler Marsh, he's at Georgia, and Hunter Furtado, he's at Alabama. He's a left-handed pitcher. They're both going to be, draft guys here coming soon.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nate Macaborski from Yankees Magazine, please unmute.
Hey, Brad, congratulations. Thanks for taking the time today. Just as a baseball lifer, what has the New York Yankees kind of meant to you? You started out saying how you're honored to be joining this organization. What is the pinstripes always kind of represented to you in your mind?
Well, I'll start by saying this, that Don Mattingly was from basically 30 minutes where I was from, and he was the guy that everybody looked up to in our area. My dad coached against him, not much older than Don, but his little brother was Don's age, and they played American Legion against him. And, ever since I was little, my dad tried to emulate his swing into mine. So that's where it all started with Don Mattingly and just being who he was to our community and our tri-state area in Southern Indiana and Kentucky. But then it's just, my favorite player probably growing up that I didn't ever see play was Mickey Mantle. Because that's who I wanted to be. So that's a lot to have to go into it. And then when I first, obviously get called to big leagues and you go to Yankee Stadium the first time, I get there early and I go to Monument Park, and it's just like, holy cow, like this is real. So I look forward to going back and seeing that again. It really, I don't know if it boosted me to concentrate more against the Yankees, but it was a special place to come and visit and play against.
Pete Caldera from the Bergen Record. Pete, please unmute.
Thank you. Hi, Brad. Hey, is there a general hitting philosophy that you kind of ascribe to? And were there any hitting coaches or teammates along the way that kind of helped shape your approach?
There's so many. There's so many guys that have helped me along the way. I was always a guy that was a pretty patient hitter, aggressive but patient. And the biggest thing for me is, the number one thing is you got to get a good pitch to hit, and you got to hit it hard when it comes. And whether it's the first pitch or the eighth pitch to the at bat, that's my biggest thing. And obviously we dig down deep in the cages and we work on mechanics, but I'm big on the mental approach and making these guys sure that their minds are clear. Sorry, I got a jet coming over, but just, really focused on the mental part and really focused on getting a great pitch to hit and hitting it hard. And, kind of Dylan came up with this philosophy is like hit strikes hard, and it kind of resonated with me a lot because that's really what it's all about, is getting a really good pitch to hit and hitting it hard. And, keeping your mind clear and be prepared for that. As far as, people helping me along the way, I had some great hitting coaches. Obviously, I played for Frank Robinson, and I said in my interview, it just made me feel like how simple this game could be. It's hard, but you got to make it simple. And the way he talked about hitting and the way he talked about playing the game, I'm like, gosh dang, a guy like him that did what he did just made me feel like it was so simple. And it kind of made me relax as a player when I played for him. It was huge.
Thank you.
We can go next to Randy Miller at NJ.com. Randy, go ahead.
Hi, Brad. Congratulations. Did you consider yourself a studious hitting guy when you played, always studying mechanics and things like that? And you think it'd be tough right away to make suggestions to a guy like Aaron Judge with no pro experience, or you look at everything you went through in your career as a player and say, some of these things that he's going through, I've been through, so I can be in a position to help him right away?
Well, I think, first of all, I don't think I'm going to be messing with Aaron Judge very much. I think they got a good plan, and what he did last year is pretty good. Obviously, I'm going to give some input, probably more behind the scenes than, anything else. But I feel like I'm very prepared for this. I've worked with a lot of hitters in the off season when I was living down in Jupiter, Palm Beach area before. I always went out and saw some pro ball guys hit and talk hitting, and always just staying in the conversation, staying in the mix. I mean, obviously I haven't been in a big league dugout in a while, but I feel very confident in my skills to get these guys to relax and be themselves and get the most out of their ability.
Thank you.
Anybody else before we let Brad go? Brad, appreciate you taking some time with us. Congratulations again. You got a lot to do between now and the start of spring training, so look forward to meeting you in person here in a few weeks.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me.
Okay, everybody, have a good day. Brad, take care.